And up here in the top right, I'm so not used to doing this. We have a player that just played phenomenally. He is
FXO, Leenock.
He's making the 10th drone. He may temple. We were going to find out in a second. Nope, he's going for overlord.
I actually made a joke earlier. He missed the memo. No one ever sent it to him that you're supposed to make your overlord on 9 because it's better.
It is actually better.
Bottom left, we have a great Zerg player. Not playing as well last game, though. He is.
웅진 스타즈 Soulkey.
You know, it's in ZBZ, and a lot of mirror matchups are like this. I feel TVT is the most forgiving because you can come back the easiest with your skill. But in ZBZ, when that third base is up for you and your opponent doesn't have a third base, you're basically just hoping you don't make a mistake and you've kind of got the game. There's so few things your opponent can actually do to catch up. A good Baneling hit works in the early and mid game to catch up or to get you back into the game. But when you're as behind as he was on a huge map, we're talking Abyssal City size. You can't walk across the map and do anything with your Infestor tech that you have.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? You're just behind, and a few key mistakes in the early game make Soulkey look bad all game long, but you have to realize that he's basically playing with one arm tied behind his back.
It's so well said, Wolf. Absolutely. And, you know, that's the problem. You know, people take little risks in the early game knowing that even if it doesn't kill their opponent right then, right? If you get that little edge, you can carry it the entire way.
Yeah.
And things as simple as, you know, Leenock denying a hatch of Soulkey or Soulkey not denying a hatch of Leenock, that should theoretically be denied based upon what Soulkey's done here. You know, by making that early batch of lings and not even trying to take his third for so long. Yeah, that alone, that's not even like damage was done to him. That's more like he didn't do the damage that he took the risk to do.
Yeah, no return on investment.
Yeah.
An aggressive investment, but an investment just the same.
Look, if you're playing the stock market, you've got to be a bear or a... Oh, God, I don't even know what the other one is, right?
Or a salmon.
A bear or a salmon, dude.
I guess he was the salmon last game and gets slapped down.
No. All right, well, these builds a little bit different for these guys. Leenock is getting some nice early gas. So is Soulkey, though. Leenock's a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this is like last game where it's two different builds, but they're going in the same direction.
Exactly. These builds are... I feel like Leenock's is a little bit safer, of course. He's got a really fast evolution chamber going down, though. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Is he going to go for fast +1 big attack?
You know what?
Or +1 carapace for a Baneling?
I think it's possible that he'll go +1 carapace. He was going +1 carapace. I guess you know something about +1 carapace I don't, because he was going for it earlier, and I was like, well, this is going to help out his lings that he knows he's already going to make all game. No, it's +1 range. Okay, this is an old build.
Is this going to be the 2-base Roach attack?
Yeah, this is going to be a 2-base Roach +1 timing.
Yeah, because when you have +1, a lot of people know this already, but just for some of you who might not, if you have +1 your Roaches, you 2-shot a ling instead of 3-shotting.
Yeah.
And that's so important when you fight with small Roach numbers early on in the game. And against Banelings, that's going to be great as well. Be able to take the Banelings out a little bit faster.
It's just that +1 really does make a huge difference. It's like the +1 attacks you see with Protoss against Zerg. They're out of style now, just as these are, because once you realize it's coming, it's not going to be that powerful. You're putting so much into this attack based upon one upgrade that's going to misrepresent how strong your army should be at this time.
Yeah.
But this is a super old build. I'm actually really excited to see Leenock mix this in.
Yeah, he needs to deny the Scout of the Evolution Chamber. That's basically the only thing that Soulkey can get to help. And then if he does, he's going to make Spine Crawlers and a ton of Lings to hold. He's not going to be able to really make his own Roaches. He's going for a fast lair back at home and getting his own second gas. 9 Roaches are now on the way. The only thing Leenock needs to do well right now is hide these Roaches as best as possible.
Yes.
As soon as they start walking across the map, there's no way he's going to be able to hide them, though, with the Overlord position Soulkey has right now.
That's right, and this map is... you can walk across here quick enough that this is going to be an issue, because Soulkey doesn't have the Roach Warren, which means he has to defend with Lings and with Spines. And as you mentioned, Wolf, 2-shotting Lings, the Lings are not going to be very useful.
Yeah.
So this is an issue, and he knows it. Now, watch, Soulkey probably will throw up Spine Crawlers. He only started 1.
Now he's going to start more. I think he didn't have enough resources yet. He made the Lings first, which I actually like. The Lings can buy a little bit of time for you.
Yeah, and notice he's making some Banes. We oftentimes see people make a bunch of Banes and just hope they can hit clumped up roaches. By threatening to hit those clumped up roaches, sometimes you make them micro backlit, your spines get more hits. We'll see if any of this works.
Well, that was a great hit on all those roaches.
Yeah.
And you know what? This is a perfect timing by Leenock, but I think Soulkey may have enough of the finishing spine crawlers here.
Yeah, you know what? Those Banelings actually did a great job. It's not too often you see Banelings do a great job. Now that's good splitting from Leenock. Leenock pushing forward still.
But when you split, you waste time, you know, and that's exactly what allows these spine crawlers to finish.
He still has that spine crawler just because of the micro, the splitting. That is the only reason. Because the Banelings came out, it bought his spine crawlers more time to do damage, and in fact, they're still alive. And at this point, Leenock's in trouble.
Yeah, he's behind in tech. That's the most important part here is the Spire is already going up for his opponent. It's going to be so hard for him to get a third base, harder than it was for Soulkey last game even, especially with all the Lings that are out for Soulkey right now. Leenock doesn't even have a Baneling Nest. He doesn't have speed. How is he ever going to be able to get a third? He's going to have to turtle here.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to lose a ton of drones to the Lings, to be perfectly honest.
He may indeed. He does not have many units right now, even though he does have a lot of drones and a nice little surround going on. Some Lings going in the mineral line. I love this choice here by Soulkey. Going to deal a lot of damage to Leenock. Leenock pulling his drones for now. A good choice as well, but the Lings did break through into the main base.
Yeah, just a few of them. He needs to get in there and help out with the roaches. The +1 on the roaches and the queen actually helped a little bit here for the defense, as did the wall. Imagine if he didn't get that wall on the ramp, how terrible that situation would have been. I canceled there by Soulkey.
Yeah.
Wanted to make something happen, it just was not going to be. But Leenock now actually takes a slight worker lead, and he's got the lair tech up now, but he still doesn't have any way of getting a third base. It's going to be still very tough for him. He needs to position his roaches over there, and I feel he needs to probably get a Baneling Nest.
Yeah, you know, I think you're completely right on these things, because with these mutas coming out, it's kind of like the reverse of last game, where when can Leenock actually take another base? But what I really like out of Leenock, he's making additional queens right now. And when you see someone make a few additional queens, you walk towards that third base with 3 queens and 6 infestors, you can take that third base against muta. You absolutely can. There's no way to split the mutas just right to take all that out.
And if you hit the fungals right on the Lings are not going to be able to close the distance there.
Exactly, yeah.
So he decides to skip the Baneling Nest here, which is bold, but it's something that's going to work out for him, I feel, in the long run here. And Soulkey hasn't taken his third base very quickly either, and that's something that Leenock can see right now with this Overseer, and that's going to make him feel pretty comfortable.
You know, that's actually, I want to say that's a fundamental mistake, because Leenock has focused so heavily on roaches. What you're afraid of taking a third is speedlings, and he already had speedlings. He was the one putting on pressure with them, which meant the units of Leenock had to be home. Normally you start the third hatchery as your Spire is making, and the fact that he hasn't started until after the mutas have started, that is a little bit late. So even though he has some advantages, he's not necessarily getting exactly what he wants out of it.
Yeah, you're right. And I think, did he cancel speed? Can you check if Leenock canceled speed actually for his Lings? Because I think he may have done that, which would be pretty intelligent. No, he didn't.
He didn't.
He's going to keep it. A few Overlords going down here for Leenock. He didn't pull some of these back. That's a kind of a weird Overlord to lose against mutas, but the third base is now finishing up for Soulkey, but the mutas here are not going to be able to accomplish too much.
Yeah, I think he might be a little bit nervous about any infestors that might be sitting around.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to have them get clumped up and caught. Now, Leenock is actually still making queens, which means he's going for a queen roach infestor all in. I was talking about this in one of the other games. It almost looked like someone was going to do it last time, but this is a powerful, and that goes on the queens as well, which is a big deal. And he's going to have superior roach upgrades. He's going to have likely more infestors than his opponent. Yeah, he has 4. Looks like that's probably all he'll go with. And 3 are about to pop for Soulkey, which will have less energy. So this is very powerful. And with no spines up, I don't think Soulkey has any... Okay, he does have spines up. Never mind.
Yeah, those are the spines from earlier.
Yeah.
But if Leenock attacks from the other angle, those are not going to be very useful, and he can catch reinforcements coming from the natural.
Yeah.
Leenock doesn't know, though, that that's the better angle of attack, and it's going to take way too long for his queens to redirect over there.
I think that's the big problem. His queens have already committed, but he has transfusions. With 6 queens, he already has at least 6 transfusions. It looks like he might have 7 or 8.
He drops a ton of infested Terrans here, wants to use his energy on that, and I like that choice because there's not that many roaches out for Soulkey.
Yeah, and look at this. The Ling's trying to catch the queens. That's a really smart move. Notice the mutas aren't here yet. He wants to kill off as much as he can before the mutas come in.
Yep. And +2 actually on those infested Terrans adds up pretty nicely here. And actually, I think he could just take out this third base, target it down, and walk home with his own third coming up right now.
I don't know that he will, but I think he could. Oh, God,
getting these infestors as well. This is great for Leenock. He's got that third hatchery going up.
And now Soulkey is I don't want to see he's dead, but he's in terrible, terrible shape right now.
He's trying to find an opening with these Mews. He can force a cancel on that hatchery, but does he want to do that? Transfuse is going down here again. I don't know if Leenock should actually commit into this choke point with all these investors, even the spine crawler there.
Well, this is the one way for Soulkey to actually get back to normal here. Some nice fungals go down. Those roaches so red already. It looks like Soulkey is, in fact, going to wipe this all out, and Leenock has absolutely overextended himself.
Yeah, I don't think this is a good choice. I would have much rather seen him go home.
Yeah.
Now he's going to lose his third base to the Mutas, probably.
Yeah, that's kind of rough. He's making right now. We have Leenock making another couple queens, trying to send them over, but he doesn't really have infestors. You know what they say, Wolf, about getting ahead. When you get ahead, you should go home and turtle because you're so far ahead, Leenock. What the hell? But he has made this mistake, and now this is like a really back and forth game. But here's the thing: even though these guys are making mistakes, they're playing so well at such a high level here. This is actually, they're making a lot of good moves despite these small mistakes that is allowing each other to come back.
That was a sick infestor save, by the way. Oh, that's how it goes. I guess that's how it is. Sucks to be that.
Sometimes
infestor.
that's how it goes, man.
Yeah.
That was the tasteless infestor right there.
Yeah, that's the broken rib infestor there.
Yeah.
By the way, this attack, because he just used all those fungals on those Mutas, is going to be all the more scary for Leenock. He does have +2 over his opponent, and that advantage is just going to consistently stay there. Look at the +2 for Soulkey. It just started. It's so far behind. That's so much time Leenock has. He's making these spine crawlers just being safe. And at this point, it's hard for me to even judge who's really actually ahead in this game. I feel like Soulkey still has a slight edge, but he could throw it all away trying to attack up into these spines at +2 roaches right now.
I think as the spines finish, the lead has to go a little bit towards Leenock because that third base isn't done. So we have Leenock with more production, better mining. The drone count does go to Soulkey, and he is finishing up the hatch. So yeah, it is pretty hard to call right here.
Yeah, that was a lot of investment for Leenock. I feel like with the walk home from Soulkey and not attacking, it's basically making those spine crawlers just paying money to lose drones for Leenock because they're no longer useful. He lost the drones and he paid money to do it. And now I think he's feeling a little bit of the pressure of that, trying to figure out how to attack. And in this situation for both players, especially on this map where you have narrow choke points is the only way you can attack into your opponent's base, attacking it is, I think, the wrong choice for Leenock here. The defender's advantage is so strong on this map. Even with the +2 he has over his opponent, I don't know how much I like this.
Well, it looks like he wants to do something multi-pronged here. It's not going to work yet. Soulkey's zoning really well right now. I think for what Leenock wants to do here, he has to wait for Soulkey to take a fourth. I feel like that's the only way, because notice Leenock,
he's distracted him though, and he's got a group of secret agent infestors coming around the backside, and there's nothing to stop them. The Overseer didn't see him. This could actually snipe the hatch if he wants it to, with +2 on those infested Terrans. Here we go.
And he is going for it. That is a lot of infested Terrans. If he targets this right, absolutely that hatch will go down.
But he has nothing to defend back at home except his spine crawlers. Yeah. He doesn't have very many infestors here. This is going to be a tough hold. He's definitely not going to hold that fourth base. That's a dream.
Yeah, that fourth base going down, I don't think he even canceled that one.
No.
But you know what? He's killed off the third. He just needs to hold right now. Soulkey has to be so careful, because if he goes up that ramp with those Hydra spines, roaches in a concave, and a couple well-placed fungals, Leenock will hold that ramp. So Soulkey turning around, going home, a good choice, but Leenock has just forced himself into another good position here.
Yeah, he's doing all the right things from behind. He's taking risks, and sometimes extreme risks, but when you're ahead in a best-of-3 like this and you're in the winner's match, you can afford to take risks like that +1 build that he started off the game with. I really like his choice of doing that. I almost would have predicted he might go for a 10 pool. Now, Leenock is adding a ton of Hydralis in here. His Hydralis count is getting pretty scary. He's actually going up to 27. But he needs good fungals to back that up, so he needs to make sure that he hits his opponent's fungals, because Hydras, like you mentioned in the previous game, don't have a lot of hit points. So if you can have them at the back doing that extra damage, they're so valuable. But if your opponent's roaches close the distance on those Hydras, you're going to wish you made roaches instead.
Oh my god. He just made 19 more Hydras. This is actual madness. He is going up to 32 Hydras, 28 roaches, and 9 infestors. I feel like that is so...
I think it's too much. It may be.
He's going to have to rely on fungals, and I feel like he's going to throw out too many infested Terrans. Now, that's a hard thing to say, because infested Terrans are so damn good, but...
Hydralis
if he closes on these Hydras, it's going to be an issue.
Exactly. Hydras are like the siege tanks of ZVZ.
Yeah.
You've got to make sure you position yourself well, and he gets a good fungal, and the Hydras are doing a lot of damage from the back here. This is exactly how you want to do it.
He's doing a very good job. These are beautiful fungal growths going down.
He pulls the Infestors back even, but I still think there's not enough hit points here.
Yeah, there might not be. The damage output is great for the moment, but as those roaches close, it might be all over. He did not use enough fungals. Maybe
and he can't save these Hydras. He has to fight.
Yeah.
I like his choice to turn around here. And this trade ends up being okay, but those Hydras are a lot more expensive than those roaches are.
That is true, and he has
you know
more
what?
coming up.
If he pulls away from those infested Terrans, he may actually win this fight, take out the Hydras and pull back. Wow.
Am I watching Hydra's kite off creep? Yeah, I think I am.
Yeah, I think so. 2 roaches during the battle. He's got to be careful about these infestors, though.
Leenock, that was pretty solid, man.
I
have
learned
to
something
admit.
about Hydras today.
Apparently you can kite infested Terrans.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so let's take a look at the actual unit counts right now, because both... Oh, wait a minute. I have to point out, Soulkey never actually did remake his 3rd. When he took his 4th, I assumed he was going to take the 3rd behind it as well. But that makes Leenock up 1 base. So that's an issue as well.
And look at those fungals.
Wow.
Those were insane by Leenock. Exactly what he needed to damage every single roach and escape with his army and waste his opponent's infested Terrans. Soulkey was not able to grab one of those units. You know, you were talking about his control earlier, but it seems like he's fumbling a little bit in this winter series. Maybe he's nervous or something.
I'm feeling foolish, man. I don't know why I said he had good control after his good control before.
This is a great fumble again here by Leenock. Catches almost every single roach, and the Hydras in the back doing exactly what they need to do, that extra DPS.
Beautiful play here by Leenock, really showing his level, and it's looking like after bringing himself to an early disadvantage, he has fought back. GG
indeed. Wow, Leenock takes it out, and he will be the first player to advance to the round of 8 today.
Leenock manhandling here. Very happy with the double fist bump a couple times, another double fist bump.
Could we see Leenock in the finals this season?
Of course we could, Wolf.
That's what I'm
That's
wondering
a silly
right now,
question. Don't wonder anymore. Of course we could.
I think he's a little bit on a roll right now.
He is, man. But for life, it's been a role reversal.
Yeah,
because he's in the loser match coming up next.
That is certainly true. We'll see what happens with him. I think it would be a big upset for him not to make it to the round of 8.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not surprised at all that Leenock won this group. You know, yeah, Life won GSL and MLG, but don't forget, Leenock was in a great spot during that MLG.
Yeah.
And he's so solid. You know what's so cool about him? He is like Jelizerg, in which he randomizes his play and his build orders so well, you can't predict what he's going to do. You can't do it. Other players become predictable, and you can play against their style. You cannot do that with Leenock.
Yeah, there are certain players out there who can do this, and it's such a valuable skill to have. I feel like Genius is another one of these players who's like this, and even Marine King can be like this from time to time alive. You know, sometimes these players who don't even win the GSL or don't even make it into Code S actually have the ability to change their builders so often. They're so scary to face. You look at a player like Tails even. You know, when you face him, you don't know what you're going to get.
No,
it's like rolling the dice.
Sometimes it's so brand new, man.
Yeah.
That was sick, by the way, the 5 gates in
the
man. Observer. Oh
it took me a minute to figure out what he was going to do, but that was awesome.
I know. When I saw him, like...
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, we're going to go to a quick little break, and then we're going to see Life against Symbol, an insane ZVZ. So, guys, don't go anywhere. We will be right back.